No, it's like, you said that earlier. You said that about Greta. Like,
I don't
like
have
at least
time
make
for
the
that
conversation
nonsense.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, please.
I like pithy conversation.
I was like,
oh, this crazy stuff.
When you're just dreading, somebody sending you a message, it's like, why do I waste my time with this? I'm not going to.
No, that's a real thing,
Hi.
though, Laurie.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I'm still off, y'all. Sorry.
I think I was off that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Lori.
This is Peter.
And this is Hamilton.
And we're with Action Heroes LA, the subsidiary of Heroes Character Rental Service, bringing you another movie review of
Body Snatchers.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
The original.
The original from 1956, starring, I forgot who was starring in this
I don't
movie.
even know.
I don't know.
Some people.
It's starring that
Some
guy
white people.
up there.
This dude and that dude too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And stuff. And there's a couple chicks in it and some, they snatching body. Ooh, look at that. That's when they're coming in. So, Peter recommended this. You want to say why you recommended this movie?
Well, I recommended it because it was something that I remember from a kid. I used to love to watch this movie when it came on TV. And I found out later, I just loved the movie, but I found out later that it was actually more or less kind of a propaganda film.
Yeah.
And it was to show how it would be to come from a free country to a communist country, because we were still having big issues with Russia at the time.
Yeah, it was during the Red Scare. It was during the whole Hollywood blacklisting era of, trying to fight off communist incursion in our culture or whatever. Yeah, so it's like a message, a warning of, when people start to take on certain ideologies and transform their being and stuff. And it's a science fiction film, so it's draped in the clothing of science fiction, but it's a moral.
There is a moral backstory to it.
Yeah, well, it's like a cautionary tale, like a moral cautionary tale of what can happen when people don't follow the American way of living or whatever.
Well.
But, I wanted to say I saw this film like. Last time I saw this film, I think I was in high school, so it was like in the 80s. And I like this film, but this film has really grown on me over the years, because it's funny, because when we watched it again, I felt like everything that I saw, I was familiar with the film. I hadn't forgotten much, I like it even more now. I guess I like the production values of it, the acting and the story, the pacing of the story. But I think it's an interesting film, and it's obviously been remade a few times over the years. But I like this version. I saw the 1970s version. I think there was one a few years ago, but I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see the one a few years ago. I saw that they had remade it twice.
Okay.
It's a little different, but no, I didn't like it.
You didn't like the 70s? Yeah, no, I didn't like that as much as this. Should we talk about the story or?
Yeah, you guys,
Yes.
you want me to know the story? You guys are
hear
just,
what you have to say.
well, I was just okay. This was okay. Well, it's about there's this doctor. He's practicing his medicine, and he's noticing some people are saying that some of their relatives aren't themselves. All of a sudden, they look the same, they talk the same, they smell the same, but for some reason, but some reason there's just something different about them. And the first is a little boy that's kind of like freaked out about it, and actually the female lead's cousin. What she said. I'm sorry, I thought
uncle.
I thought this part was funny. She said, "Oh, my cousin it said the same thing," or something like that. And he goes, "What was her name again? Oh, Martha or something?"
Yeah,
I was like, "She only got one cousin." I'm sorry, I've got 20 million cousins. I wouldn't be able. Somebody, if I said my cousin is acting weird, it would be like, what?
Oh, really? Which one?
Yeah, like.
Who?
But he knew exactly. Wendy, Alicia. I don't know. I forgot her name. But yeah, it was. It was hard for me to. Like I said, you guys mentioned it as a propaganda film, and I think I was looking for something more making a social commentary. I think I've kind of I've never seen this movie before. I've heard about it, and that it is. I thought it was a commentary on communism, but like I said, but I wasn't expecting as a propaganda film. I thought it was like more of a criticism of like maybe the.
It's like
what I was expecting.
It's kind of like a horror scenario. It's like, you know, the idea of people going to bed at night and then someone coming in and replacing you with a pod that you know, like takes over your place in society.
To dig in deep and look at it, yes, that's just a representation. It's kind of like a thing of if Russia or the Soviet Union came and took over America, when you would wake up, you would have little feelings because everybody knows Russians have little feelings or no feelings at all. You wouldn't.
It's better this way.
Yeah, you wouldn't love someone, which means you wouldn't hurt. You know, you wouldn't hurt if they were to go or something was to happen to them. You wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, you trying to like turned into some kind of zombified creature with no feelings. Well,
to move it into the movie aspect, I thought it was. I think it's a great movie. I think. Excuse me. I think that a nice plot was laid out. And they took some time to lay it out. I still think a little bit too much time, but they took some time to lay it out. But of course, I'm in the microwaves now, so you know, if you don't tell me the story in 1 minute, get out of here.
Yeah.
You know,
like I said, I was thinking
I'd be the perfect executive in Hollywood.
You know what I like about this film? Just putting it in the proper context. I see it as almost like a drive-in movie from the 50s.
Yeah,
and then it's a sci-fi movie, and so you know, Hollywood has a history of Cold War era films that were propaganda against Russia or whatever, but what it comes down to is it entertaining or not. I thought this film would be like a great Saturday night movie to go see at the drive-in.
At the drive-in, definitely.
You know, when it came out.
I agree with that. You know, like I said, you guys call it a propaganda film, and I wasn't thinking of that. So I was expecting something different, and so you know when you have certain expectations, and it's like, okay, this is not what it was. I made the comment. I was like, it would be really interesting to remake this movie now. I think, absolutely.
Yeah, because, totally. With like the Trump
and I think like you
stuff.
saw it in high school in the '80s when we were still under the Cold War. I think kind of being under. I think they would have had a different impression.
I think that's funny that you mentioned that because, like I said, I saw it in high school and I didn't think as much of it then because we were still in the Cold War era and I knew, you know, how like TV was and the media was all about telling you how you should feel about Russia and other, you know, and so I didn't think much of it other than it was like I said, I'm a sci-fi nerd already. I thought, you know, it was okay, but I think it's kind of grown on me in the sense that I enjoyed watching it this time more than I even thought I would because I had already seen it years ago and didn't expect it to be different from what I had seen before. But I just thought it was I liked the production values. Like I said, I thought the acting was good. I thought the story and the pacing were good. Were really good.
I mean, the technical side, I think one of the things, this movie is just so very white. It's that kind of that stereotypical white 50s kind of thing. Where
well, that's not, to me, I like that too.
But you're going to see that because there wasn't any black people back then.
No, black people didn't exist in the 50s. That'll be
no, they did not. No. Not in this movie. It's just so...
This movie was made in 56. I was born in 57, so there was no black people.
There were no black people in 56.
I'm still not sure about you with them damn blue eyes. But yeah, it's kind of like, okay. I mean, it's that stereotypical portrayal of white America. That's absolutely clean and flawless, and
I thought it was a trip when they were telling people like, "Oh my gosh, this is happening," and everyone was like, "What? Oh, that's impossible!" It was like they acted.
Oh,
it was almost like an SNL skit or something.
Exactly.
Like, They
we
acted
make fun of
so
stuff like this
predictably,
nowadays.
like,
Yeah.
white,
So
I guess, waspy or whatever.
it's very waspy.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny to it's like, oh no, we're gonna lose this way of life. It's like that shit was fake to begin with.
Right.
Anyway, so.
And then there's like the scenes where like he goes out and he realizes there's all these
And I'm
people
like, good. No, I'm just
organizing out, and they're bringing all these pods into the
Mm-hmm.
town center and stuff, and people are like running up and grabbing a pod.
It
and
would be
walking
a
off
real
with it.
interesting
I didn't know,
movie
I thought that was funny.
to take on now.
Yeah, totally.
because
You can do a lot with a story like this now. I think.
definitely because there's
Yeah.
we have a lot of people that you kind of your neighbors and friends and family that the whole political divide. You go, whoa, we're kind of on the opposite sides there.
But in all
I hadn't
fairness,
expected that.
like I
you look
said,
the same that you've always have, and you
Right.
know, you're the same person I've always known. But I would not have expected you to go this way or that way.
right, Peter. Like I said, I like this film a lot. A lot of horror film, a lot of sci-fi movies from the 50s are like kind of schlocky, but this one
Well,
is
it's
not
not schlock-
schlocky
it's
at
not.
all. It's not so bad. It's good. It's
No, it's not.
It's a good
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
And I think for that time, maybe the message resonated more. But yeah, you're right. If they made a remake and
Yeah,
it
I
was
would
like
love to
in
see one right
reference
now.
to what we're going through now, it would be interesting.
But now you have to promise me this: if you're gonna make a remake, you have to do just like this one. The Batcave has to be
The
in it.
Batcave. The Batcave. Good old Bronson
Is that the
Canyon.
original Batcave?
That is.
They film a lot of
That's
stuff
hilarious.
there. So
Yeah.
Well, I heard you say that.
Yeah,
Is
we've
that-
been up there a few times. I
Yeah.
used to go hiking up there. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to go to the Batcave. It's,
I
Yeah,
don't,
because even though they did it from a lot of different angles, I was just like, hey, that's the way we get up there.
Right.
Hey, and that's the
little
Batcave.
curve
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought
it's a hell
of a
that,
sign.
I thought that was
and,
on a
and
movie.
look, because even what I liked when they
set.
ran in, even though they kept calling it the tunnel.
right.
And that is true. The original Batcave is a tunnel. It's not a
yeah,
cave.
it goes all the way through.
Yeah.
When you say the original Batcave, you mean the Batman TV show from the 60s?
From the 60s.
Okay.
And when they get to the end, because you can tell that the landscape has changed just a little, but you can still tell. Yeah, they're at a smaller mouth, and they're doing this, and they're going, oh yeah, and this. It's like that's the Batcave.
Right. That's hilarious.
We'll do a review from the Batcave.
I thought it was
Yeah.
I thought it was just like something on a movie studio
Oh, the Batcave?
backlot or something.
You've never
Yeah.
been up there, huh?
No.
Oh, we gotta take
it. We gotta
Yeah,
take it.
this is. I'm curious to go there now.
Yes.
But yeah, I
Let's
was
go.
gonna say I don't know if we should wrap it up, but I like the film. I would recommend it for anyone who hasn't seen it. You should at least become familiar with this story because it's been, like I said, remade a few times. It's kind of
The story was
an established Hollywood story, film story.
I think it's an interesting premise, and as a propaganda novel, you can characterize it as a propaganda film, and I view it a little differently. See, the story to me was just a little bit slight. So
I guess if you take the
know,
propaganda aspect out, there's not much.
there's
This kind of
it
story
doesn't
doesn't hold
really-
up really well, maybe.
it doesn't feel like Act One. Like there's several. Well, there are, but I don't know. It doesn't seem as much of an arc. It's a very kind of like small. It's not a big arc. It's just like.
Well, I think a lot of times we look at films as, well, if I was there, if this really was happening, this is what I would do. This is what, and then nowadays with the advent of cell phones and computers and stuff, you go, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, back in 1956,
Well, yeah,
that's
it was.
exactly what happened. And there would be these pods that had these people.
I thought that was
Bursting out.
the funniest part
And
about
it
the
was
film.
there was a
Oh, that was kind of cool.
planet.
It was kind of like the weird effect of the
Yeah.
people coming out of the pods.
It's like the whole
That was
idea of
kinda
like
awesome.
finding this perfect replica. Oh, it's just this human body on your coffee table or something
Hey,
in your
yeah,
house.
what was that? He
well,
just,
you're
they're
not
sitting there
calling the
making
police.
drinks and like,
Yeah, like what
Yeah.
the heck? We found
I just
this
found it
body
on the
in our house.
backyard. I don't know what was
and I came and put it on my pool
I just put it
table.
on
Yeah,
my
exactly,
table.
exactly.
I decided to make a drink and so light my pipe.
Like
You know?
it's just stuff that would never happen, but you don't question it because
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, okay, what? Okay.
Okay.
well,
They were so
Look,
nonchalant about finding a body in the
but
yard.
you know what?
I
The
don't know.
thing, you know, the overall thing is that I did think the movie was well made.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still like it.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
I would still go see it if they decided to put it on a big screen, even bigger than this one. But yeah, I think especially during COVID. This is a great movie. It's a great 50s movie. A lot of people call certain movies B movies. I still don't think this was a B movie. A
No, I don't think
minus,
this is a B
A
movie. Yeah, I
minus
agree.
minus. but
It's one of the better.
It's not exactly
films
B-movie,
of that
no.
genre from that era.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have that kind of
Yeah.
B-movie.
Yeah,
there had been a lot of them in
Yeah.
the 50s.
definitely.
And I think I've almost seen every one of them.
I think Peter's going to pick the Blob next.
That's another good movie,
You know,
though.
those-
Actually,
I don't,
I'm thinking about it.
is it the Blob?
We used to watch the Blob. So.
Or
the little kid with
the,
the little cap bed.
when Earths
Right, right,
Earths
right.
collide, when worlds collide,
Well, he wanted to
or-
Forbidden Planet. Too.
Forbidden Planet. I just like all those movies.
right. I understand.
They're
I
fun
do
to dig
think
back
that Forbidden
into.
Planet got a little slow towards the, at the end.
right.
But I liked all the stars in it.
He was a 50s movie junkie.
Oh yeah.
I know this isn't technically from that same era, but I'm a big fan of Night of the Living Dead. Did you ever see
That's
that
from the
film?
early
Oh, yeah.
60s, right?
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that film in particular.
I love the story of
And you see
Parliament
there
Funkadelic when they...
there was a black guy in it. Because, see,
When they
we were born.
right.
In
I
the
know what you're
60s,
saying.
we were here.
She's telling the story
The
about
story
when,
of the Parliament Funkadelic when they were on tour and they took a shortcut and they ran into the
Right.
zombies.
and they were making
And they thought they were real zombies, and it turns out they ran into the filmmaker that were making
they were
Night
on
of
the
the Living
set.
Dead.
Yeah, when they were filming Night of the Living Dead. That's hilarious. That's like
Watch
an awesome
Tales from the
clash
Tour
of
Bus
two
Season
different
2.
popular culture
Hilarious
icons.
stories. But what I wanted to say is like, it was okay. I liked Them better. In comparison, I thought Them was a better movie.
Oh, yeah, that is a better movie.
So I was just kind of like, this was all right. But watch it. Where did we? I forgot. Yeah, I rented this from YouTube, and actually, it was on sale for like $1.49.
Oh, yeah.
So check it out. Tell us what you think in the comments. And
We out.
I guess we out.
We out.
but are we ourselves?
Are we?
I don't know.
We'll
Did
never-
I
we'll
come
ne-
from
No.
a pod?
Yeah,
Did that
exactly.
come
I don't know.
Did I sleep?
I don't
Guess we
know.
just have
You
to
know,
find
I
out
took a
next,
little. I took a
review,
little
huh?
nap today.
Let me see. All right.
We out.
We out.
Hey, I don't feel anything.
Y'all, did